Hello, viewers. Welcome to our show, Kicking It with Coach Donald. And the Bluetooth thing is popping up again. Yeah, I don't know why it is doing that. All right. So, welcome to our show, Kicking It with Coach Donald. And today in the studio, I'm joined by a Warriors legend from the Dream Team. With me in the studio today is none other than Carlos Max. They used to call you Murewa, right? Back in days.
Yes, that's right.
Do you mind sharing with us how did the name Murewa, came
Well,
about?
it's still a mystery to me, the actual reason why it is there. But obviously, I got the nickname from Caps United supporters.
Oh yeah,
There's different reasons as to why they actually gave me that name. But I think it boils down to something to do with obviously being of lighter complexion with Morewa and Keda. So something like that.
no, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, but you guys, you gave us memories. Like I was too young. Maybe I was doing my primary, but you guys used to motivate us to go out and kick the plastic, the plastic ball. We used to call it chikweshe.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
Wow.
after watching you guys, wearing your green uniform from the Warriors, we were motivated. So on that note, Carlos would want to know, like, maybe the background to your football journey. How did it come about?
Well, I mean, I grew up in a suburb called Arcadia, which was
Arcadia, yes.
yes, Arcadia, which was like a 90% colored community, and
Okay.
Arcadia United was at that time the big team in the community. They were in the top league in Zimbabwean football, or even before Zimbabwean football. And Arcadia United had a very good policy, which started way down from the juniors. So all of us guys from the community, we started from under 14s to under 16s to under 18s, and eventually, into the first team. So the whole program was very, very organized in how the juniors to being a senior player went on in the community. So obviously, I started going through the good program with playing under 14s, moved up to the under 16s, then to the under 18s, and eventually into after a couple of years into the first team of Arcadia United.
Arcadia United. Yeah. Still on that note, Carlos, do you mind sharing with us? I want to know the relationship between the community and the juniors, because I believe that's very important. Because when you have a junior setup that is well supported by the community, the culture of football uh, grows. From my own understanding, do you mind also shedding light on that?
Yes, I mean that's important. I mean, and that's why Arcadia survived and thrived for so long. It's because, like you said, our junior policy was magnificent. And the good thing about football in those days, it started just before independence. So obviously, I was in my teenager years, just before independence. And the good thing about football there is that all the top teams had junior teams. Dynamos had the same amount of junior policies as Arcadia United. So did Black Axes, so did Highlanders, so did all the teams. Caps even came a bit later. But whenever big tournaments were played, whenever a Jabugo Cup final was played or a Castle Cup final was played, it wasn't only about the senior teams. It was, football started at 9 o'clock in the morning. You'll have an under 14 Chibuka final between, Arcadia United and those days Mashonaland. You had an under 16 final. After that you had an under 18 final before eventually having, the main thing. So as juniors, it gave us big motivations to play for the juniors, to be there at this big, at Faro Stadium. Used to fill up by 10:30, those days. So, you had the crowds watching you. I mean, I remember my first time ever playing, I went with the under-14s to Bulawayo, and we cut and raised for KG United versus Mashonaland United. And the stadium was packed, and, it was a good reason to continue to, to want to play soccer,
Yes,
with the
yes.
atmosphere that was at the ground.
There was motivation.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. So on that note, I can relate with what you're saying, because when I was also in Zimbabwe around 2010, we used to have Mbare Junior League, where our boys from under 9 would be competing to under 17. So there was that support from the municipality. You remember in Mbare, right? They stored at
Yes.
the number 7 grounds. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, looking back now, what can you say uh, has gone left, considering what we used to have back then, and now? What has changed from your own perspective?
Obviously, the most important thing is that the top clubs do not have junior policies. That's the most important thing. Like I mentioned from before, all the teams that were in the Super League those days, that it was called Super League, all the teams had junior policies. Right, not as way back as the under 9s, but from under 14s right up to under 18s. Besides, even they used to they have reserve team. Every single team had if you went to Ruparo Stadium at 2 o'clock, make sure that Dynamo's reserve team was playing before Dynamos played it. At these days, if you go to Ruparo Stadium, the teams are warming up from 2 o'clock. You're watching the teams warm up. Those days,
Yes,
when you
yes,
go to the stadium
I
at 2 o'clock,
agree.
you knew so when a new player walked into the first team, you already knew that that guy was been playing for the reserve team for the last 6 months or so, and now deserved his chance in the first team. It wouldn't be your first time watching that player, so you already knew
Yes,
what
yes,
was
yes,
happening
yes.
when new players came into the team and stuff like that. That's what we don't have
Yeah,
now. I mean, for the association not to have its own organized junior league, it's beyond me.
it's a problem. It's a
Yes.
problem. I do
Uh,
agree. And also that's the aim of this podcast, Carlos, so that we shape the future of Zim football, from grassroots, women's soccer, up to the men's soccer. You understand what I'm trying to say?
yes,
So
exactly.
issues like that are very, very important. I am of the opinion, I don't know how you see it or how you view it. I'm of the opinion that the association ZIFA should enforce a law that states that every team in the Premier League should have junior teams to start with. Then should also have a women's team. What do you think about that?
Yes, definitely, definitely. Or the other option is that ZIFA needs to work with the school systems. Okay,
Yes.
because the schools don't play in they should have a sort of like a schools league where teams are playing each other, not just a one-off tournament. These days you get a Coca-Cola tournament once a year. Teams should be playing. When I was in high school, we played football against other teams, other schools, 2-3 times a week. And we went from school to school. Even one time I know I was in primary school, we traveled to Mutari to play against the school there, that kind of a thing, which we don't have, I see happening now. I know it's there in rugby, I think it's there in cricket, but I don't know of any school soccer where there's juniors in the teams playing each other, and there's enough schools in each district for them to have. So not only should Ziba have its own league, but it can be well organized, working through the schools, at various ages.
Yes, yes. Also on that, it's very important, Carlos, because when you start working with schools, even issues like age cheating, right? We can cut on those issues, because we can have a database, right? Where schools, they affiliate to ZIFA. There's the database that shows the player's profile, and the journey that the player is walking through, football
Yes,
wise.
yes, that's the most important thing, because obviously in terms of the school registration and everything, you have the legitimate ages of the juniors, and it's done properly through the school. You find I know incidents where they saw some kids in the school, and when they ask that kid to come play, he ends up using his brother's birth certificate.
Yeah.
You
So
find
so
out
that
that
that problem.
Uh,
Okay. So that problem is created because there is a gap between the school and the association.
yes, exactly.
And so which means the structures are not like are not intertwined. I mean, there should be chemistry between the school,
Yeah,
the
well, in my
association.
personal opinion,
Yes, yes, I agree also, and also
yes,
the what you call it, the municipality, because remember the municipality is the one with facilities. Uh, like the halls, the stadiums, we will need those ones. For example, the halls, like we can do meetings, at grassroots level. Yeah, you
yes, yes,
understand what I'm trying to say? Those junior leagues,
yes,
they can use the halls for meetings, then the grounds,
yes.
you know. So that
Yeah, but you
relationship
see,
between the association and between the association and the municipality should also be there.
yes, I know, definitely. Yeah, but I mean, if you look at it, 90% of the proper schools or decent schools all have their own football grounds, or they have enough space to have
Yes.
their own football grounds. Most schools have their own halls as well. You see, where they have the assemblies and stuff like that. So it's to an advantage for the associations to be working with the schools to have these things. It is very easy. I mean, to have tournaments. If you can have this, I've heard of this Cotco and this, all the tournament for rugby at Prince Edward and the one in Kadoma and all biggest rugby tournaments. Why can't we have these soccer tournaments at the schools like that? They go on for
Yes,
3-4
yes,
days.
yes, yes.
That kind of thing. With the right age
Yes,
groups
yes.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Coach
Mm.
Ko, I
Yeah.
happened to work for Prince Edward around 2010.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about when you're talking about Coach Ko. So, like, we have our Coca-Cola, right? But is there follow-up? Like from the Coca-Cola, right? Is there follow-up so that the team that performs well and other players that are performing well in the tournament, they are absorbed in the football system?
Yeah, that's again another problem. We don't know that. If you
Mm.
you see, even if you go back to like I say, a few years just before I entered the play, guarantee Grabowski, 90% of his players were still school age. So they made sure they all went to a decent school where they played good football at the school. Besides playing for Guarantee Juniors, Dynamos used to have all their players used to go to Churchill School, and stuff like that. So even though they were playing for Dynamos Juniors, because you can't train for your clubs, junior clubs, too much because you're at school. You got to go to school every day, and these days school finishes at 4 o'clock. You know,
Yes,
so what
yes,
time do you
yes.
get to train for if you are Dynamos Junior? Where do you get to train for Dynamos? So that's why Dynamos always made sure that 90% of the young players they had promised that they made sure that they were well organized in Prince Edward School. Guarantee and few other schools make sure that all their players, Alice Benjuri and them, all went to Prince Edward School. So not only were they playing for Guarantee, but they were also thriving in Prince Edward. They were having some good competitions. That's why you find the competition at that time between the schools, especially like Prince Edward and Churchill, used to be, the hype because it was like Dynamos versus Guarantee or Dynamos versus Caps and things like that.
Yes, 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 yes,
And
I
even that,
agree. Yeah.
but at school level,
I've lost your sound.
is your Bluetooth not on again? Uh,
No, 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 no. My Bluetooth. No, no, it's not my Bluetooth. No.
I'm showing you, well, it's showing
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
99%.
But now I
It's
can
back
hear you
again?
now. Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
All
But
right.
like, if you can adjust your camera a little bit, because I can't see the other eye.
Show you one is that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, to the right.
Right.
You just this side. Yes, yes, yes. Because I don't want people to speculate that the legend no longer has the left eye.
Yeah, it's also my lights is shining on my glasses. Maybe I should take them off. Then I won't
Okay,
see you.
yeah, inside. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, but if you can
Yeah.
move against this side, because we can't see this side.
Let me see what if
Yes,
I.
yes, yes, yes. Yes. No, that's better now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Carlos, I can feel the passion that you have for junior development, but of which is key because junior development, that's the future for for our Zim warriors, right? If we don't
Yes.
make it right
Mm.
at the junior stage, we're going nowhere. So now we want to talk about the Warriors. We want to talk about the dream team because most people there is a debate, a very intense debate. I am of the opinion that dream team was the best team that we had in Zimbabwe. What's your take on that one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was part of the big dream team, so it will be only natural that I would say yes. But you see, what the thing with football, and the thing with supporters, it's about the progress. Okay, and as much as and as well as Dream Team did, in terms of results, we failed for the qualifications. Yet we came close to qualifying for the
I
major
know.
tournaments. But what people don't
Yeah, but
understand is that during our time, the procedure for qualification was much more difficult than it is now.
mm, mm.
You see, I mean,
Uh,
only from Southern Africa, maybe only 3 teams went, to Nations Cup,
to the
and we
Nations
never,
Cup.
yes, and there wasn't the division there is now. I mean, we only played the likes of Egypt and Cameroon and stuff like that, and we still were beating big names, and that was what made the dream team so special, because
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
so-called powerhouses
Mm.
of Africa, when they came to National Sports Stadium, the end result was always great.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, Dream Team never lost at the National Sports Stadium. We got knocked out of a tournament, but not because we lost. We ended up drawing with Zambia. That's how we lost. We got kicked out of the Nations Cup, and then
Oh, I
even
see.
World Cup. The last qualifier game was which we lost in Cameroon. But all the other games and Zim went to the second stage of the World Cup. Now
Mm.
there's only one stage. You play your group stages and straight away you in. That time you had to play 2 stages before you went to World Cup, because there was only 3 teams from Africa that went to World Cup,
Oh, yes,
as
yes,
opposed
I
to
see.
5. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, in my opinion, Carlos, I think the team was unfortunate. Uh, Unfortunate in the sense that maybe the football politics continentally was toxic. I want to give
Yes.
an example. I want to give an example of the game against Egypt. Yeah, that was in Cairo, and there was a stampede, right? I remember Fabish being bandaged on his forehead, and one of our players got hit on the hand. That's, to me, that's an automatic disqualification to the host team.
Yes. Well, it should have been. It should have been.
Yeah. So
Uh,
why having a game like to reschedule that match at our expense? You understand what I'm saying? Yes.
but you see
And
that
also, I don't know how far true is that because I'm also told of the issue with Burundi. By that, I just want to justify why I
yeah.
think the dream team was unfortunate. Eh, so you remember the game against Burundi where no, like I'm saying, the situation with Burundi national team, whereby they disbanded the whole association, from the coach to the
Yes.
president, everyone. Yes, and it affected our points at that time. then we had to, to fight again for more points for us to qualify, which was unfair on our part. You still remember that situation?
Yes, yes, yes. But you see, that has been the problem with like, especially from our period of dream team time, is because between North Africa and West Africa, they ruled the roost in
Yes.
terms of the politics, because they were the ones running football. If you look at the associations, CAF and all that, they were all the people from either West Africa or North Africa were in the executive of CAF. So
Of CAF,
everything
yes, yes.
always went their way. Because I mean, if you look at East Africa and way down to South Africa, they always had the same problems.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I see that. I
Yeah,
see that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
also looking at your during your time, during the qualification, the qualifiers, you guys, you were, I mean, like you were pitted against the best of the best in Africa. You mentioned that. Now, looking at the team that qualified for the AFCON in 2004,
Yeah.
during your time, Mali was not a team to to bother during your time. Mali, Seychelles, Eritrea. You understand?
Yeah,
You used to play big teams like Guinea,
yeah.
right? Egypt, Cameroon. Which other team was big during that time?
Senegal.
Senegal. Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. And yeah. So, like,
There's Ghana was
can you
also
take us
Ghana.
back?
Yeah.
Come again?
I said there was also Ghana as well.
Ghana, yes. But
Yeah, yeah.
Ghana, were they a threat to us by then?
No, because we never really played them. We never, yeah, they weren't in the same group as us at any stage. So, but I was just mentioning one of the big teams
Or the big teams? Yes,
from that
yes.
area. Yeah,
During
yeah.
that time.
Mm.
Yes, no, I get that. So, uh, back in the which match can you say is the game that sticks in your mind for for life, that you can say you will never forget this match in the dream team?
Wow, I didn't play many games in the dream team. I think I just played against Mauritius, and then most of the games I was on the bench. You see, but the game that sticks in my head is just before the dream team, when I first got called for the Warriors. Ben Goffey was the coach, and
Oh,
we
Ben
went to
Coffee. Yes, I
Nigeria.
remember Ben Coffee.
Yes, and we went to Nigeria,
Mm.
and yeah, and we drew with Nigeria in Nigeria. But that time we were playing with the likes of Sticks Mtizwa, Jafet Mpuruta, Stanley Duduma, all those guys. Clifton Peter, those are
Wow,
the David Mantle them, and we drew with Nigeria in Nigeria. Uh, and I
wow,
was
wow.
I
That
was just coming into the national team at that time. So I mean, those are the early days of me getting into the national team. So that would definitely be. And I was playing right back, and Finidi George was playing left back. Most of the Nigerians
ah
didn't believe that. Most of the Nigerians didn't believe that I played soccer in Zimbabwe. They were convinced that I was a foreign based player.
yes, 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 yes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's talk about your role as a right back uh, during the dream team. Were you like that right back who would overlap, try to initiate attack when we lose ball, like attack defense transition, then you come back and try to, to do your right back duties?
Yes, I mean, if you look at the system that Fabish used, whoever played in those things, you wouldn't even call the right back. Fabish used a 3-5-2 system. Okay, so you had
Three
only
five.
three defenders, and three center halves, and then across
Okay.
the five would be your right, which was your right back, then your left back, and you either you're dealing, and then you two attacking midfielders. So you had five across the
Oh,
midfield. So you wouldn't be called a right back. You were the right-sided midfielder in Fabish's system, because he
wow.
played the 3-5-2 system.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, can you hear me? Because your sound again it's
We lost. Going again.
okay. Or yeah, no, I understand that. So
Mm.
like with that system of play during those days and comparing
Mm.
to now, what can you say has changed much in the in the Zim football space?
Uh, there's not enough of individuality. You know, when you a team is always about. I mean, football is always about a team. But
Mm,
every team has to have individuals that stand out week in and week out. You know, like the Sticks and Tinswas and the Joel Shambos, and when you're going to watch the game, you will be entertained by certain players, and
mm.
that's what Zimbabwean football doesn't have now. You know, they
Okay,
stick to
can
big.
you
Yeah.
elaborate? Can you
And
elaborate
what I'm
further
talking about
on
is
that when you?
uh, when I say that, I mean like you get a player, like you get a winger, someone who's like the left winger or the midfielder who controls the game and entertains and individually does special things in the game that makes the team win the game.
Oh yeah, yeah, like individual
Yes.
brilliance.
Individual brilliance. You know,
Okay.
there's no. I don't think there's any team. All the games that I've watched in the last year now, a
Mm,
year and a half. So that every time have a chance, I go and watch some football, and I've never
mm,
ever seen individual brilliance from one player. You know, it's
mm.
always a collective item. You never get a guy on the right wing taking 2, 3 players. Wow, gets across line,
Mm.
crosses the ball, go Bora. You know, which is what we used to have.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so we need maybe it's a plea to the current coach that we need players that can, step up when things are low. So during your days,
You
can you
see,
give
that's
us names
the the
of
big
those
point is
players?
the big point is that those players that did this never got it from the coaches. It was in their own ability to stand out and produce, wonders for the team.
Mm.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
So
Like I mentioned, if
yes,
I
yeah,
mention
I
names,
understand. I understand.
if you know, in our days, the hardest thing to be was a defender.
Mm,
Because you have to mark the likes like Madinda and Lovo. You have to mark the likes like Boy and Lovo. You have to mark the likes like Stanley Duduma. You have to mark the likes
mm,
like Eddie Kasvere. If you are not
mm.
fit and strong enough, you will be massacred as a defender with those guys, because those
Yes,
guys
yes,
make sure
yes.
they come looking for you to individually destroy you.
Yeah, you reminded me. You reminded me of Fabish era. Like I said before, I was young, but when you could see Fabish checking his watch, it's time for Majinda to come in, and so you'll be expecting something like, for example, the tempo of the game to increase and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, no, I understand. Okay, so let's look at
Yeah.
the players' warfare. Since you've been in the game and now you retired, Carlos, and you've got your peers who used to play soccer as well with you. What
Yeah.
can you say about the players' warfare during their playing days and after the playing days? And what recommendations can you put in place to improve the players' warfare?
You see, in our time it was difficult because we weren't professionals. Okay, we were semi-professionals. We played football, after hours. We only trained in the evenings, and we only played. In fact, those days we only used to play on Sundays. Okay,
Mm,
some of the lucky ones like us who played for Caps United. I mean, that's why in some stages, some people like me, players, we chose to join the team from the benefit you could get in terms of what your life would be after playing football, and that's
mm,
why. Caps was such a household name. It's because 99% of the players were employed by Caps Holdings, whether it
By
was
Cape Holdings.
whether it was at Caps in Manchester Road, whether it was at Geddes, whether it was QV pharmacies, all the players had employed. So, besides football, players were at least earning a salary that so football was just like a part-time thing, and you could enjoy your bonuses when you got bonuses after a game, because you know that come
Oh
month end
yeah.
you're getting your salary. You see,
Yes, yes.
and so and your bonuses, your cup final bonuses were actually bonuses, because what I mean. So even if you weren't in the team or you couldn't make the team, because you can't always be the team, at least you still you had a salary coming at the end of the month. You see, but now the difficult thing is for the current players today. Now it's tough for them because the salaries they earn in the short time that they play football,
Yes, yes.
it's only a matter of time when you find they end up, out there stuck with nothing to do and nowhere to go because what salaries do they earn in Zimbabwe? So if they don't get a contract outside, I feel sorry for these players when it comes to the time end of time, because you half the time you most of the teams even that little salary they're getting, you find they're boycotting and fighting the bosses because they haven't been paid for 2-3 months, and so that's a problem. Some
So,
form
so
of something obviously within the clubs, something needs to be done in terms of whether it's a pension scheme or something like that, where players pay during the time that they're playing, they pay a certain part of their salary into the pension scheme, like how we do. If you go to work, you have to play to NASA and stuff like that. That you have to pay. So something should be done for players, so that when they retire now,
yes,
they
yes.
still can get an allowance or something of that sort.
Then players can get a win for after that their career. Yeah,
Yes.
and that will cushion them.
Mm.
Yeah. No, I do agree. Then let's go back to the association, Carlos. During those days, how organized was our association Zifa in terms of, taking care of you guys when you're on camp, you're traveling, uh, and your bonuses? I mean, like, how organized was Zifa back then?
There were ups and downs. Some of them were, there were ups and downs. We never had the luxury of 5-star hotels every time we went into camp. We used to camp at University of Zimbabwe. We used to camp at a support unit there by Chikurubi. While when the university students were on holiday, we used to go and sleep in the dorms there at the university. We never always had luxury stuff, but as players, the want to play for your country was more important than wanting to live in a 5-star hotel. It was very seldom that we
Yes.
went to. Yeah, I can't remember a time when only up to Dream Team time is when we started now staying at the Holiday Inn and Cresta Lodge and all that. But before that, we hardly ever stayed. In fact, 2 weeks, the whole month before we played South Africa, we used to camp at Anyani Hills Hotel at the Lake Marco, Lake Chivero.
Mm.
1 week before, well, even because Fabish only came like a week, 2 weeks before the actual game. From there,
I
we
see.
were moved. The minute he came into Zimbabwe, we were moved from there to Holiday Inn. And that's where we started camping at a luxury hotel. But otherwise, yeah, we used to have our meals. We used to have our meals at the stadium. We used to drive from Minyani Hills at the lake, go to the stadium, train at 9 o'clock, finish 2 hours training. Train at 10 o'clock, 2 hours training, finish at 12. We used to sit down underneath at the bottom of the stadium. There was the company called Happy Eater. They used to bring our meals to the stadium there. We used to sit in the stadium. They used to serve us our meals at 1 o'clock. We used to sit there and relax until 3 o'clock, training again. till 5, then go back to Lake Chiveru for
Oh, I see.
almost a month. So it wasn't always rosy. I mean, it wasn't always fair. But, you know, there was days also when we got back, no officials were to be found for us to get our allowances. And, we went for this Eastern Central. You spend almost 2 weeks there in Kenya and you come back and there's no even official to meet you at the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see,
No,
you know what I mean?
that was bad.
Yeah.
That was bad. So
But
it looked to me it looks like it has been a tradition of bad administration. Something that, Carlos, we as football stakeholders, it's high time now we should put an end to this and start doing, things the professional way,
yeah,
like
exactly.
other countries. Yes, I
Yeah.
was speaking with Sifas Chimeza. If you go to our channel, you will see I was with Sifas
Mm.
last week. And so we were talking about this current state that we are in of saying we play our home games away from home. Imagine how do you feel about that? I mean, like,
It's I mean, it's Zimbabwe. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
what can I say? If you live in Zimbabwe, you just think as it as the natural thing. Because
Yes,
nothing
yes,
is right. Nothing is right. Not only
yeah,
football.
but yes, but we can't normalize these colors. Things have to really take a turn towards the right direction. Uh, because even like it was like in the 90s when you're telling me that you used to camp at UZ and these other institutions, but we have our Zifa village, and I am of the opinion that by now our Zifa village should be up and running so that even the warriors, they don't need hotels like Crystal Lodge, right? They will be staying there.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, doing
Mm.
all those upgrades like high performance center, installing it, at the Zephyr village.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's so not understanding, because I mean the association itself benefits. How much more money do they save? In
Mm.
terms of bills, paying hotel bills and all the meals and all that, when you have a facility to provide for this, and which can cut your costs to less than half. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with stadiums. I mean, how much money is Zimbabwe losing in not playing the games at home? I mean,
A lot, a lot.
you know what I mean? If you look
Yeah,
at the last game where we qualified to go to Nations Cup, if that game had
yes,
been played in Zimbabwe, knowing that it was the qualification game, how full would that stadium have been?
yes. It
And
would
you
have
could have,
been
and no
full.
matter
Yeah,
what price you would have charged, that stadium would have been full. You would have
yes.
made enough money in that one game to put all the chairs that the stadium needs.
Mm.
So some things they're just not logical as to why they can't happen. You know.
No, but we need, like
Yeah.
as stakeholders, like I'm saying,
Yeah.
we need to keep pushing,
Yeah.
Carlos. We need to keep pushing till change comes, and change starts with us. So if we change the way
Yeah.
we think, we change the way we do things,
Yeah.
we become professional, then things can work for our football.
Exactly. Exactly. You see,
Oh,
and
you
it
wanted to
boils
say
also straight
something?
down. It also boils down straight to the clubs. You know what I mean? Because I mean, the clubs they may not have their own stadiums, but they don't
Mm.
play at the Faro Stadium for free. If I'm not mistaken,
They don't play for free. Yes.
they don't play for free. There's a 20% is deducted from the gross
Mm.
taking. In most games, City Varai will get more money than Dynamos when Dynamos play at Faro Stadium. So what is the problem with them maintaining their stadium when it's your bread and butter?
Yes, yes, yes. When there is money coming in and
Yes.
everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Sifas Chimeza was saying we have got the Nelson Mandela Stadium in South Africa. Why can't we just go and do copy and pasting? We just copy
Yeah,
and paste,
exactly.
then
Yeah,
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 we install it in
yeah.
we built it in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I mean, and we should have the means and the finances to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we have people buying a car every week. Somebody is buying a car every week for somebody. When we got to build a good stadium.
Yeah, but maybe that person they don't care about football.
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
No, but I mean, he donated a lot of money to a football team, so
oh
can't say
yeah,
he doesn't care
yeah.
about football.
So it
Yeah,
means we
but I
need to
mean,
get our
it's right as I
priorities
go back to
right.
the point of, yeah, we need to get our priorities right, and till such time we do that, yeah,
Mm.
football ends up the loser.
Yes. And I feel like as a nation,
Yeah.
Carlos, we have suffered enough. Remember, we just coming from a ban, uh, and also prior to that, we had issues of match fixing. uh,
Yes.
there was no longer trust between the football lovers and the national team because of these match fixing issues. What
Yes.
can you say about that?
Yeah.
Mm.
But it boils down again to the people that were running football. And the big problem we have is, you know, is that constitution. Unless that constitution is changed,
I
people
see.
can do this at will anytime, no matter who comes in. They can do it again and again because which committee, which executive never did any of the wrong things running football in the last 20 years, 30 years? Which one never? They just do it in a different way,
Yeah.
and then nothing happened. Who has ever been punished for the wrongs been done in football? Who's ever been punished?
No one. So
But
also
yet it
maybe
goes
we
on
need
and on.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, we need to tighten. I also recommend that we need to tighten, you know, this electoral system to see who comes
Yes.
into football. There should be, a stringent, vetting process so that we don't have, opportunists coming into into our soccer, and we safeguard our soccer.
Yeah, you see, but the problem is that it's run that way because of the way the constitution is.
Mm.
Who has the majority of the votes and stuff like that. And so they are the ones who are actually controlling. So unless that is changed, you know, there's very little we
So
can
which
do.
means so the takeaway, which means
Yeah.
for now we should advocate.
Yeah.
We should advocate to have a change in the constitution of our football
Yeah,
association.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Good.
Wow. I
Yeah.
never thought of that, Carlos. Thank you for bringing that up because maybe something that have been overlooked for years.
Yeah.
We're having a constitution that is promoting mediocrity in our football.
And at the time when we were first banned, the guys from ZRU or ZSR, what's it called? Zimbabwe Sports Recreation. They called a meeting.
Mm,
And they invited, especially all legends, to come here. They were doing
mm,
the reconciliation and rebuilding program, so they wanted to hear problems. And I brought the same. That's the only thing I brought up was
mm,
the way the constitution is done.
mm.
I mean, you have former footballers going to a AGM and getting one vote. You know, was the people that were voting don't even know who that former footballer is.
Yes, true. I agree, and it's a problem. it's a problem. So
Yeah.
I'll be speaking to to various stakeholders, and it is something that I will push. I never thought along those lines, but now through this discussion, you have made me realize
Yeah.
something that is amiss and that needs to be rectified. Yeah. Carlos, I think we're running out of time. So before
Yeah.
we go, we're going to have a challenge between you and me. Uh, you're gonna have your best 11 versus my best 11. Then the then our fans will choose which team is the best between my team and your team.
Okay.
Yes.
I will
So
entertain
do
you
you
now.
want to start
I
or
will
you
actually
want me to
entertain you now.
start?
I will actually
Come
entertain you
again?
now. But I said I will entertain you now, and you are very lucky because I don't believe in naming the best players. Being a player myself, I don't believe
Okay.
in saying, "Oh, so and so was better than so and so, and so is better than so and so." So I don't believe in it. But just for continuation's sake, I will name.
No, I'm not saying
Uh, uh,
Carlos, I'm not saying
uh,
I'm saying the team. I'm not saying the best
yes,
players. No, no. I'm saying you assemble a
yeah,
team,
well,
I assemble
yeah,
a team. Yeah,
okay,
the best team.
right,
Yeah, so it's not about individuals. And again,
okay,
on
yeah,
this
I
game,
know, yeah,
Carlos, yeah,
yeah,
if you pick a player, right, I'll not use that
yeah,
player.
yeah, okay. The problem is my players will be way before this new revelation.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
the purpose of this game is
uh,
also to revive those players
uh,
in the history so that they are
yes,
not
yeah,
forgotten. So it's good if
yeah,
if you
okay,
can
yeah, no,
mention
no,
those
yeah,
players, then people will research
yeah,
because history will never forget.
100%.
History will never forget.
Yeah. So how do we start?
So either you start with your 11 or I can start with my 11. If you want, I can start. But the player that I
You can,
choose, you don't have to touch that player.
okay, no problem.
So you
You
want me
can
to
start then.
start?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll put Gift Mzadzi as my goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Then right back I'll put John Peary.
Okay.
Then left back, my left back I might go with I don't know, Sharon. Was Sharon right or left? I can't remember.
Left. Left.
Yeah, so I'll go with Sharon. Then I'll put Caetano Tembo and Dumisani Pov.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I'll use central midfielder. I might go with uh Conjera. I might go with Benji Conjera. Then I might
Uh,
use Sifas Chimeza. Uh on the right wing, I might also use Francis Chadida.
okay.
Then on the left, I might use on the left. I'm thinking of you to use. I might use Majinda Love.
Okay.
Then up front, I've got Shingi Kaondera. Mm, then I can put Vitalis Takawira. Then
Okay.
my coach, then my coach will be Matongorere Nelson.
All right. That's 11, eh?
Yeah. That's 11. Yes, that's my 11.
Yeah. Okay. The problem is I've got more than 11, but I'll just keep it simple
Just
and
give
yeah,
us 11 that will play
difficult to
today.
choose because in each position I've got 3 guys that can play. But anyway, I'll just give more or less a fair one. Obviously, in goals,
Yes,
without a doubt, I'll have Jaffa and Barutza there.
shortcut.
That gets. Then right back, sure, I'll have Mercedes Ibanda.
Rambo.
Yeah. Yeah. At left back, I'm going to go a little bit further in time, put Oliver Katea.
Katea, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. My difficult time part now is centre backs because there have been too many good ones. Too many around my time. You know,
Okay.
we talk from up to Zimbabwe's time, Sunday's times, up to Anna Maseko's times, Anna Chewanda's times. There was just been too many.
Yes.
So I'll actually even go with a player we might not even think is the household, but he played for Dynamos. Is
Yes.
Ernest Mitano.
Okay. I've never
Yeah,
heard of
former
that player.
former Acadia was an Acadia first, and then he played long time. Really, was one of the stalwarts at Dynamos, Ernest Mitano.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll center him with Maseko, Alexander Maseko.
Alexander Maseko, yes.
Yeah.
I've heard that. Yeah. Alexander played for Highlanders, right?
Yes. Then in midfield, I'll have obviously most importantly Joel Shambo.
Joe Shambo, yes.
Yeah, Joel Shambo in the center with what system am I playing now? System playing Shambo and Tito Packets again from Islanders.
I've never heard I've never heard of that player as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was it either Supersonic or Eagles, then eventually Islanders.
Okay.
Yeah. Then on the right, obviously Stanley Duduma. On the left, I'll put Boyne Lovo
Okay.
and two center halves or two center strikers, one playing a little bit deep, Peter and Lovo, together with Sheki Tauro.
Peter in love.
Yeah.
Singizonge. Okay.
And Sheki Tauro.
And Shaky. Also, those
Yeah.
will be your two strikers.
Yeah.
So they'll be playing like twin strikers, or one will be
Yeah, exactly.
behind.
Yeah. Yeah. One will be slightly
Okay.
behind. You know, Peter always played as a midfielder come striker. It's never
Yes.
he always had
Because
a
of
free role,
pairs.
never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
I'll get feedback from from people. It'll
Okay.
be interesting. So, like I said
Yeah.
before, the reason why we do this, Carlos, is
Yeah.
because we tend to remember also some of our heroes. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
that's why we have
Yeah.
this kind of a game,
Yeah.
because football is like it's like a commodity. We can shelve it, but we can revisit it. And look back and see the impact that it had on our lives.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, Carlos, I want to thank you so much for joining me on this podcast.
Yeah.
It's Kicking It with Coach Donald. So our viewers can go on our YouTube. They can subscribe it, and they can also like the channel. So, like I said before, the aim of this podcast is to create a positive change in our football space. When we sit down and we discuss this issue, we can change something.
100%. 100%.
Yes. So,
Thanks. No, thanks
Carlos
for
Mrewa, thank you so much, my
giving
brother.
me.
I really
Yeah, thanks
appreciate it.
for giving me this
Yeah,
opportunity to
we'll keep
share
in
some good
touch. So,
stories.
where are you now? Are you in Cape Town or Joburg at the
I'm
moment?
in Joburg.
Or you're in Zimbabwe?
Yeah, I'm in Joburg.
Or you're
No,
in
I'm in
Joburg?
Joburg. Yeah, but I still live. I believe I just came. Yeah, I'm here for a few days. I'll be going back to Zimbabwe probably the next 2 days.
So when I come to Zimbabwe, I'll call you. Then we can have a drink, chatting about
No
football
problem.
issues.
No problem. Yeah,
Yes. Thank
yeah.
you so much,
Maybe
Carlos.
when you come, because we are trying to revive Arcade United. We are starting with the juniors. We got a young academy going. So we're redoing
Yes.
up the stadium, the Gary Bismarck Stadium there. We're redoing up the
Wow.
clubhouse. Yeah. For the first time in our history, we've got a ladies team, we've got a girls team. So yeah, we starting to try and do things at Arcadia.
Yeah. We need so maybe one of the days we need to talk about that as well.
Yeah.
So just keep me posted on the developments and everything. We'll be talking. So
All right. No problem, Donald. Yeah.
yeah, it will be very, very important. I mean, to revive that, and that's the culture that we now need in our in our
Yeah.
football space.
Yeah.
Not to say when we have a national team game, then we have got bands playing. We go while as we are waiting for the Warriors to come.
Yes.
Would want to see the
Exactly.
juniors play.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
if
Exactly.
we go, let's say, to national sports at 9 a.m., we know we'll be entertained with football till
Yes.
3 p.m.
Exactly.
when the main team comes.
Main
Yes.
team comes on. Yeah.
So it is that culture
Exactly.
that we need to push. Carlos, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you, man. Pleasure's mine. Thanks for giving me this
Okay, keep
opportunity.
well.
Take care. Yeah. You too.
No, anytime, buddy. We football.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Okay. Yeah.